because this crazy shelter at home ordinance that everybody is on means that Alyssa, whose face that you're seeing right now, who is the brains behind Cara Massie Design, can't actually be in the same room with me, which means I don't know what I'm doing. So hang with me 1 second, because I really thought that there was a way that I could make sure that my view was,
I think if everybody just puts theirs to speaker view, I think everybody gets to choose. Yeah.
Okay. Are you seeing me big now on your end, or are those of you? Yes?
Yes. I can see
you. You guys are awesome. This is so fun.
If you
we
put
had,
it,
I think 18 people in this little meet and greet today. So I'm thrilled that you are here. It is a gloomy, rainy, yucky day in Kansas City. And so seeing your faces is a total bright spot for me right now. So thank you so much for being here. Can you hear me okay? Can you just give me like a little visual thumbs up? Yeah, okay, good. I was having a little bit of sound trouble when I was doing some sound checking on my own earlier. So again, thank you that you're here. Just one quick housekeeping thing I'm going to mention off the bat. You should have a little microphone icon on your dashboard. And if you would all turn your microphones to mute in the background, then everybody in the group won't hear whatever background noise. Now you guys are going to hear the background noise on my end because I'm not going to mute myself, and I'm going to give you fair warning now that my kids are home and I'm going to have one walk through the room, and when he opens a door, the dog will bark. And I mean, just give me an amen if you're all struggling with this work from home with kids and pets running around at the same time. And I'm letting just a few more, and here we go. Barking, dogs, kids. I'm letting a few more people in. So you guys are great. Thank you for your patience. Thank you for your grace. And I'm sorry for any background noise that is beyond my control in this current circumstance. But I'm so thrilled that you guys are here. You know, I just wanted to talk to you all for a moment really about why I thought it would be really fun to do something like this. I don't know about you guys, but I'm getting a little bit stir crazy. I'm kind of a natural extrovert. And so having a connection with people is honestly a little bit vital to my mental health. Kids are coming in, you'll hear more barking here any second now. But having some connection with other humans it's just really important to kind of my own mental stability. And the other thing that I've really been thinking about in the last couple of days is that where we are right now with everybody just spending a ton of time in their houses is really taking me back to where I was about 18 or 19 years ago. And at that point in my life, I was a relatively new bride, and I was a really young mom. I had my first kiddo when I was 23. I got married at 21. We started our family when I was 23, and I was at that time a stay-at-home mom. And I was broke, like super broke. So, pardon me, I was spending a ton of time in the house. I had a little one at that time. I had an infant at that time. And I wasn't working. And so I felt so incredibly isolated. And looking back on it, I probably even might have had a little bit of postpartum depression. But I think a lot of that was spurred on by, again, just we didn't have a lot of extra money, which meant that in that point in my life, I felt really guilty about spending any money on things that were non-essential. So again, it reminds me a lot of kind of just where a lot of us are right now. You're home, you're a little unsure about your finances, you're not making you're not out shopping right now, and you're looking at four walls around you, right? And a lot of you are also at home with little ones full time, or kids who are in school, and you're finding yourselves trying to figure out how to kind of do some homeschooling. Sorry if I look distracted. I see other people that want to join us today. So my point today is to talk to you about, over the years, how I sort of found some creative ways to decorate my space without spending a ton of money. Because again, 18 years ago, I just didn't have it to spend. I just really didn't have much money at all to spend. But here's what I knew then, and here's what I know now. I knew, and I keenly understood that my environment impacted my mood, and that as the mom of the house, as the wife of the house, I was the person who was really feathering the nest around here. And I suspect that a lot of you guys, the same holds true for you. I think that just holds true for a lot of women, right? We tend to be the ones who kind of make the environment, but we make the environment not only look pretty or look decorated, we also oftentimes set the mood for everybody else in the house. So in those days, in those early days when my house was also really undecorated and I felt kind of bad about spending some money on it, what I also found was that I was really antsy and I was a little bit unsettled and I was a little short sometimes. So again, back on point, what I wanted to talk to you today was just about how I've learned to kind of layer in with some decor pieces. And so I'm going to go through that, you guys, and then I'm going to open it to a Q&A session at the very end, because I know that a lot of you might be just taking a little quick break in your workday today, and maybe you don't want to stick around for the Q&A. So this advice that I'm giving today is going to really apply well if you are someone who likes traditional decor, if you like what's called a transitional style, which is a little bit of traditional and modern, if you like a farmhouse style, if you enjoy any sort of coastal, nautical look, we could even go a little bit rustic. My tips today, let me tell you who it's not for. I suspect it's for all of you guys, because if you are drawn to, or if you're following me, then I'm taking that as a huge compliment, and thank you. Thank you for that. And I take it that you mean that you like some of the same things that I like. But my design style and my design tips won't work really well if you're someone who likes very modern, contemporary, right? So I don't decorate with a lot of chrome or very slick surfaces. That's not really my aesthetic. I like my homes and my environments to feel warm, cozy, inviting. I want people to feel like they can come in and just put their feet up and settle in and relax. So if that's you, then you're in the right spot. Okay, I promised you that I would share with you 8 elements that I put into every space. So I'm going to tell you what those 8 elements are. I'm going to show you an example, and I'm just sitting here on the front of my fireplace because it was like kind of the one spot that I could put myself and have everything within an arm's reach today. So when I'm starting off with designing a room, and I already have the bones in place. So when I say the bones, I mean my paint colors, the flooring is in, the big furniture pieces are in, all of that stuff. Then I start with texture. You know what? I'm just going to stop for a second because I'm feeling already. Will you just turn your microphones on for 1 second? Thank you to those of you that just, because I'm just going to stop for a second. Like, I'm just feeling in my spirit, like I just need to stop for 1 second, because what I wanted out of this more than anything else was some connection. And it's already feeling so much like I'm the only person talking and nobody else is talking. So I know that we can't talk over each other. So I don't know if you want to use the chat box, but is anybody out there, would you just introduce yourself and tell me where you're from?
Hi, I'm Mary.
Hi, Mary. Where are you from?
Atlanta, Georgia.
Mary from Atlanta, Georgia. Okay, who else?
Hi, I'm Sandra Womack. Sandra Womack.
Where are you from, Sandra?
Estonia, North Carolina.
North Carolina. Okay, so, all right, where else?
Hello, I'm Debbie. I'm from Central Missouri.
Where at in Central Missouri, Miss Debbie?
Franklin County, Gerald.
I'm sorry, so what city is that?
Well, it's a little, do you know Washington, Missouri?
Well, my husband grew up in Bourbon.
Oh, Bourbon. Yep, I'm pretty close to that, actually.
Okay. I
About 20
definitely know
miles.
where Franklin County is. Yes, I had to just stop and think for a second. Okay, well, hello. Thank you for joining me. Okay, who else do I have with me today?
I'm Jackie Atchison.
Hi, Miss
Can you hear
Jack.
me?
Jackie, did
Atchison.
you email me earlier today?
I did.
Do you mind if I share your age?
I will be 76
Miss Jackie
Wow.
sent an email earlier today because she had a specific question. I'm going to answer it at the end for her.
I'm
It's a
from
creative
Jackson,
idea. But she said she was 76 and she was going to try really hard into this meeting today. So I just want to tell you, I am so proud of you for figuring out some new technology because
I am
I struggled for 30 minutes trying to get this Zoom meeting set up today. So welcome, Jackie. And thank you.
I'm from Jackson, Alabama.
Okay, who else is with me today?
I'm Chris, and I am from Olathe, Kansas.
Hi, Chris. I know Chris and I are working together right now on a really fun project. Thank you for being here. I see
Thanks.
Connie today too. Hi, Connie. Connie and I are in a together. Connie, I don't know where you're from.
I'm currently
Your microphone cut out just a little bit.
I currently live in Nashville, Tennessee.
Okay. We got some gals from the South. Ah, Cindy. Hi, Cindy.
Hi.
How are you, darling?
Good.
Oh, I'm so happy to see Cindy's face. Cindy is one mean organizing professional. I should hire her to come over here and whip. She's
I'm not mean, I promise.
What?
I said I'm not mean.
Yeah, she's not mean. She's really good at it, right? Who else? Okay, I'd love to hear the name of just 2 or 3 more people. Melody. Melody's here. Melody was in my virtual decorating workshop last week. We had so much fun. Thank you so much. That was so great of you to join me. And I see Mindy. I know Mindy is working today. Mindy is a gal that has a lake house down by my lake house. We met through some mutual friends, so I'm really happy to see her because nobody knows when they're going to be getting to go back to lake houses. So I'm scrolling through. Is there anybody else? Susie, girlfriend.
Hi, honey.
Hi, darling. How are you?
Wonderful.
Susie is I don't know, second cousins, third cousins, 15th cousins. I don't even understand how these things work. But
I know. Your mom's cousin.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for letting me take a break in the middle of my just get that out. That was exactly what needed. A lot of times, as much as I love doing Facebook Lives, what I miss is the back and forth communication, right? It's that I'm always the person talking, and then sometimes there's some questions that drop into the chat boxes. If you want to use the chat feature today, right now, as you're thinking of questions, drop them in there and we'll go back into the Q&A. But thank you for giving a couple minutes there to just say hi to some people virtually who aren't in my house, because nobody over here can talk about decorating. So, okay, let's turn those microphones back off again, because I'm picking up some feedback on my end, so I bet you guys are too.
Oh, yeah.
So go ahead and mute yourself. Then I'm going to get into the things that I wanted to share. And again, feel free to drop, if you want to type a message in, then I think I'll see your name, who the question is coming from. And then I can call your name up and answer it, and that will be fun. So don't hesitate to bring me some questions. And if I don't know the answer, I'll just tell you that. But okay, after I decide what room I'm going to decorate, and I've set kind of the colors that I know that I want to use, and I largely stick to neutrals because I like the versatility of that, and I like to be able to switch out my decor seasonally. Then I always start with texture. So when we're talking about texture, then that's going to be anything that is outside of my main furniture pieces. So that can be pillows. I always love to have some pillows with some great graphic pattern on them because it just gives me a little bit of depth in the room. And then I always have just some great throws, right? So this one can stick around for spring. He feels a little heavy, so I'll probably end up packing him away here in a hot minute now that it's almost May, and pull out some lighter feeling and lighter colored textiles. I've got some favorite spots here in Kansas City. I know that this little throw came from Nell Hills, which their textile room is my version of Nirvana. It's amazing if you visit the Kansas City area. I know that they are offering some online shopping now, but they're a great resource. And I also shop at all the same places that you guys shop at. So Home Goods, Target, TJ Maxx, all of those places, right? So textiles is a big one to start off with. That would be the number one. I'm always starting off with textiles. Number two, you're gonna see me layer in organic texture in every single room that I decorate in. So organic texture would mean anything that is a natural texture. So we're talking now about wicker, rattan, seagrass, sisal. I love sisal rugs or natural rugs. Again, they're a great neutral. You can layer a rug, another colorful rug over the top of it. But anything that looks like this, right? It'll go with any decorating style. And this is just a little flat basket. Actually, I tucked this under a side table in my living room. And it's where at the end of the day, I walk through and pick up all of my dog's toys, the bones, the balls, the stuff that the dog lays around. When my kids were littler, then I always had one or two bigger size baskets like this in the house, and I would run around and just pick up their toys, right, and chuck them in there. It was a great way to hide toys and add some natural texture. I have a really big basket also in every living room, so at this house and at the at our lake house, that I keep throws in. So now we're back to the textiles, right? But these are a great way to add extra texture to a room. So you'll see me work organic texture into every single room. The third one is always a wood element. Now that's easy if we're talking about furniture, right? If it's a wooden side chair or it's a wooden kitchen table, but you're gonna see me work that in also in decor pieces. So I love a good chunky wooden candlestick, and I like them to have some, I like them to be a little bit beefy because I want to be able to put a big candle on it, or in this case, I got a couple of them over here that I move around between my sideboard and stuff, and I'll put like the little green boxwood ball on it. So always a wooden element. If it's not a candlestick, then it might be something like a wooden block, a wooden box. I've got some old cool cigar boxes that I like to decorate with because again, they just add some great texture. They've got kind of some earthiness to them, and I like that. So any wooden thing like that. Wooden pallet signs I like, or even some big pieces of framed art with some good oversized wood frame. It's gonna treat you really well. I like that it just kind of, again, adds an earthy texture, and it makes things feel just a little more organic and natural and lived in. So textiles, an organic texture, wood. I keep looking down because I got my notes down here by my toes so I don't forget what I wanted to tell y'all. Something metal. Always something metal. I brought you guys a couple of things here. Now, you know about my obsession with gold. I don't even try to pretend like I don't love me some gold. So you're gonna find some little things like this sitting around in a lot of my spaces. If gold is not your thing, then look for metal. Look for black, or I also love to add in some galvanized metal pieces. So for example, last week, if you're on my email mailing list, you would have gotten a note about I had done a spring style tray using a big galvanized bucket. A big galvanized tray. So galvanized trays are great. I also have a bunch of galvanized buckets. That's what made me think about that I will style with or put plants in. So metal, always add some metal into your room. It will help balance out the wood pieces, okay? Especially if you don't want an overly country look or rustic look, if you want something that looks a little more transitional, a little more modern, then adding the metal pieces in will help balance out the wood if you have a lot of wood in your home. Oh, look, I'm going back a spot. I wanted to show you guys this as an example of organic texture. So this is an adorable little plant holder. Hold, please. I have a boatload of these guys just sitting around, right? And so I will just like tuck them into a little thing like that, and it just kind of dresses them up. I pick these up by the dozens. This is going to be later in the thing. We'll kind of get to it, but I'll show you how I mix and match it. These are like little $5 pots of fake greenery, and but that just kind of instantly dresses it up, and it brings another layer of texture in. So this is a great example of organic texture. All right, so we got textiles, organic texture, wood, metal, glass. Always a little bit of glass. The reason that glass is important is because glass will bounce light around in your space, which just, I promise, makes everything look better and makes you feel better. Also in that styled tray video or blog post that I did, I showcased this. You guys are gonna pick up my ring light. Can you see that? Sorry about the reflection there, but my lighting was so bad I put an extra light on me today. And so you're gonna catch a little bit of that reflection right here. But this is one of my favorite pieces ever. It was a little bit of an investment for me because I think I spent like 60 bucks on it. And even though I'm in a different position financially than I was 18 years ago, old habits just die hard, right? And so I'm still a gal who loves a steal of a deal. I love to pick up some decor on a dime. And so I don't tend to spend a ton of money on seasonal decor pieces or home decor pieces even. I'll make a few major investments, and then I'll pick up a lot of pieces like the ones that I'm showing you today that are they're all under 50 bucks. This is probably the most expensive piece, and I think it was $55 or $60. You'll find it on storefront if you just feel like you have got to have one yourself. But this glass is amazing because, again, right now I have light shining on it, but normally it will just kind of help to bounce light around the room, and anything you put under a cloche instantly looks well styled, and that can be a million things. So I'll put boxwood balls under this. This spring I put little moss covered bunnies under it and a stack of books or Easter eggs. I change it out every season. So glass is super, super important. The other places that I have glass in my home, in this room that I'm sitting in right now, is mirrors. You're gonna find a mirror in every single room that I own, again, for the exact same reason, not just because I like to look at my own head as I walk by, but just because it will bounce light around in the space, and you're gonna really, really enjoy that. So I've got mirrors in here. I have one mirror top side table. I have a glass top sofa table. I'm kind of peeking around. Couple of mirrors, and then my glass cloche and some apothecary jars. Apothecary jars are another fabulous way to cheaply add some glass, and the apothecary jars work a lot like that glass cloche does because you can change the guts out of it seasonally, which is a ton of fun. Books. This one you guys might not have been thinking about. Now these are just a super cute little custom set of books that another crafty gal here in Kansas City surprised me with. In fact, if you're not, I'm gonna give her a little shout out right now. Her name is Alyssa. I know Keisha's in here too. Correct me if I'm wrong. Tara, it's Mrs. Decorating Mom, I think is her. You'll find her on Facebook or Instagram. And she just is amazing. She's actually a healthcare professional, but decorates on the side, and she's amazing. She made me these little books. So I put these around my house. Books will bring such texture to your life. The other thing that I love to do with books is I love to pick them up at thrift stores and secondhand shops. And I am like a book stacking ninja over here. I particularly love to find books in the thrift stores. Is anybody else missing some thrift store shopping right now? Like Target. I miss Target, just, you know, moseying around with my Starbucks and looking for stuff that I didn't know I needed until I see it in Target. I miss that a lot right now. But I also miss, the thrill of the hunt from a good secondhand store right now. So Debbie says amen. I'm so glad to know I'm not the only one. Okay, so when I'm in a thrift store, and I always pick books up cheap there. So what I want you to do the next time you're in there and you're looking around at the thrift store and you find some books, I love to pick up decorating books, craft books, old vintage sewing books, gardening books. They usually have really beautiful hard covers. So just peel the paper cover, you know, or help me out, people. What am I trying to say? The book cover, you know what I'm talking about, right? Just take that paper book cover off so that you have the hardback book. And I have them for every season based on the color, right? I'll pull my red and green ones out for holiday season, that kind of thing. And right now I have a bunch sitting over on the sofa table behind my couch that are greens and blues and pinks for spring. So that's a really easy, inexpensive way. And then the last two are going to be foliage and lighting. So you already saw this little mini plant that we pulled out. A pop of green in your room, whether it's artificial or real, just helps bring your room to life. It instantly adds life to your space. I do really well with plants outdoors. I have a total black thumb with indoor plants. I kill every single one of them. I either totally neglect them or I just water them until they die. I can't figure it out. My stuff outside does so great. So you'll see me when I bring you guys flower tutorials. They are one of two things. They're always cut flowers or I'm outside planting because I just can't do plants very well at all. So I rely on faux plants. I showed you that little guy. I have them in every single size. This one is not very big, but for scale, right? He's kind of a little baby. I love to just tuck them on my mantle. I have some glass front cabinets in my kitchen. And so I will like set this on a set of plates or just tuck it into my cabinetry. It looks really, really great. And then I showed you guys this a minute ago, but I love to just take candlesticks, and it's really fun to put something on them other than a candle, right? So I will just take a couple of candlesticks and a couple of boxwood balls in assorted sizes, and it's just looks really pretty. And again, that little pop of green, I happen to love green. Even if you're not a green lover, just trust me that a little bit of greenery will bring a little bit of life to your space, even if it's an artificial greenery. And lighting. Lighting is the last thing. My family jokes with me that I have an obsession with lamps, and they might not be wrong about that. I do love me a good lamp. Here's the thing, unless you have a custom built higher end home, a lot of times builders just do not put enough lighting in homes. They don't put enough ambient lighting in. They'll put, for example, unless it's a master bedroom, most of you just have one light in the center of your room, right? At least we do here, like in my kids' rooms, for example. It's just like one light, and it's usually not even a light fixture that's big enough for the stinking room. And now my master bedroom does have a couple of other recessed lights, but that doesn't always happen in people's master bedrooms either. So lighting is huge. I would encourage you to add extra lighting through lamps, just inexpensive lamps, and layer them. So in this room alone, in fact, my kids were totally giving me a hard time the other day. I have 5 between my great room and my open concept dining room. And I'm in a moderately sized home. I'm in a modest home. And I still have 5 lamps. And when it starts to get darker in the evening, I go around and turn them on. You'd think I'd put them on a timer because I turn them on the same time every single day, but there's something for me about just flipping them on and adding a little bit of light. And you know what? Here's another secret. You look prettier with the lamp on because it is a softer ambient glow. They are now coming out with LED bulbs that are warm, not cool. Remember, for a long time, I really just hated those LED bulbs because they gave a harsh glow. They felt really blue, and but they have a warmer glow to them now. So that's it. That is. Let me go through that list again, right? So it was. Let me pull my notes back up here so I don't forget. So textiles, some organic texture, wood, metal, glass, and mirrors, books of any kind, foliage of any kind, real or artificial, and lighting. And I'll just see, we'll probably summarize that for you guys, and I can send it out maybe in a little PDF, a little checklist or something, so that you have like a little cheat sheet when you're kind of layering in your stuff. That's kind of my best top tips for when I look around my spaces and start to think about, oh, I do have one more, actually. I do have one more. It was sitting right over here. I didn't have this in my notes. I add black to every single space, something black. Now this guy is a little bit of a, he's a 2-for-1, right? So he is a black lantern. I love me some lanterns so much. I love them so much. I decorate them every season also. But he's black, which helps ground the space. And then the candle, has a battery operated candle in it. So it adds some additional lighting too. So it's kind of a little 2-for-1. But I would encourage you to add black, some kind of black piece of something into every space, even if you're working with a color that you might not think needs some black. So for example, a lot of times when I'm working with a client and we have a room that has a lot of navy or blues in it, they'll go, oh, I didn't think you were supposed to mix black and blue together. Like we learned that as little kids, right? That you don't put on a black outfit and your blue shoes, that kind of thing. But you definitely can, and you definitely should. So I am going to peek in now and see if we have any questions. And if you have any questions and you want to turn on your microphone, go for it. I trust you guys. First of all, thank you for just letting me chat with you for a minute, and for the joy of letting me see your faces today. That was really fun. So I'm going to just kind of have open mic session now. If you have a question you want to ask me or ask anybody in the group, feel free to pop in. And I know we're all adults, so we can just take turns. We'll figure it out.
Hi, Cara. I'm Tiffany from Kansas City. I really like the glass domes, but do you put like a platter or something down to put your things on prior to? I know you change it out seasonal, but yeah. Do you have like a base?
Tiffany, I'm gonna go grab the spring tray. It's within arm's length. If you guys will give me 1 minute. Sorry, you're gonna see the inside of my dirty fireplace now. But I'll show you, I'll give you a little example. Okay, we're past Easter here. Hoping you guys can kind of see this. This might be a little bit tough. But I pulled that, I'll move my camera here for you. I pulled that glass dome right off of this styled tray. So to answer your question, yes. When I'm working with my glass dome, I normally am styling it something kind of like this. Does this make sense? So I took this galvanized metal tray, I stacked some books in that I picked up from the thrift store, and then on the inside of this, well, hang on. I'm totally just taking apart all my decor to chat with you guys today. I'm pretty sure I had a little something like that because I can see the hole in my cloche. Well, that's better, right? So again, I kind of have a bad light here, but yes, I do. I like to stack it up, Tiffany. So I normally don't just set it on a table. I normally take my glass cloche and I normally will stack it on some books or on a tray, or trying to think if there's something else. Trays and books really are my favorite. Also platters. Sometimes I'll take, I have a couple of oversized cake stands that I like to use, and so I'll just style up whatever I want to put seasonally on the inside of my tray and put it on top of a platter.
Great, thank you so much.
Well, of course, thank you. Yeah, absolutely. Okay, who else?
I got a question.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so I guess my problem is making it, I'm not a farmhouse kind of girl at all, but I noticed that a lot of the stuff that how do I mix it up so where it's not farmhouse? I don't know what I'm trying to say. I'm sorry.
No, it's okay.
I'm not making any sense.
No, I think it does. I'm going to give you an answer, and if you go, and then you tell me if I'm way off base.
Sure.
So what I think I hear you saying, Chris, is that you like some of the elements of farmhouse, but you don't want it to look like you're trying too hard to have a farmhouse looking house. The tips and tricks that I delivered today are going to be really spot on for you. I don't have a farmhouse aesthetic in my house. I like a lot of the natural elements that you find in farmhouse. What I stay away from is anything that has, so I'll bring in a lot of the wood, a lot of the black lanterns, a lot of the organic materials. And I don't know if you all are noticing, but Joanna Gaines really is moving away from farmhouse and really more into, you're just seeing her use a ton of natural textures, a lot of blankets, a lot of baskets. You're not seeing her as much use like the big oversized windmills. Remember when she I felt like she put a big oversized windmill in every single house for a while there, and that really screamed farmhouse because you're only gonna find a windmill on a farm, right? So if there's something like that that really would only belong on a farm, or it's farm animals, or remember the rooster phase, or we all had, I've lived through the rooster phase and the pig phase, and there was the cow phase and all the farm animals, right? Those will really kind of scream farmhouse. The other thing that really speaks farmhouse to me, Chris, is any kind of, well, obviously if it's a sign that says farmhouse, but any of the signs that have words on them, those instantly make me think kind of farmhouse. Does that help?
Okay.
So
Absolutely.
I would stay away from some of those more specific things. I would use galvanized metal sparingly. I would keep it to only like trays, buckets, planters, that kind of thing, but I wouldn't put it on your walls. I wouldn't do a lot of wall art and galvanized metal because that will lend much more rustic or country or farmhouse.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for the question. Anybody else? I got no place to be today, friends. I'm going to go through these quick questions here that people have dropped in. Keisha's asking, are you having any luck with stores offering curbside pickup? I'm dying for some spring and summer elements in my home. Didn't get out before the lockdown started. Keisha, did you hear that Kansas City has extended that lockdown until May 15th today also? So we're facing a little while longer sheltering in place. I know those of you, I spoke to a designer earlier today, she's in Virginia. I know that they've already extended all the way out to June 10th in her state. So friends, we may be shopping online for a while. So as far as curbside pickup, I think that Michael's some Michael's locations are still open. Many of them are closed. The ones in the North Kansas City area are closed. Nobody can come in. I believe Alyssa told me, Alyssa, correct me if I'm wrong, right? Did you tell me that if they have a UPS store inside the Michael's? Did I dream this?
No, the last time we were looking at that, the last time I checked, the Northland ones were closed, but my friend is the GM at the one like in Shawnee or Overland Park or something like that. And that one was a UPS drop-off spot, so it was considered essential. And she was still going to work as of not very long ago. And then we looked online and it had said it was open. Now I'm not sure if you can walk around but I'm pretty sure they had curbside for sure.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. So Keisha, I guess what I would say to you, or I would say to you ladies too, is you might look. I noticed that in my own small town here on the Smithville Town Square, and Smithville's very small, that my friends who own home decor stores are now starting to offer curbside pickup. So I would encourage you guys, and also my friends who own the home decor store down at the lake, Evergreen at the Lake, you'll find it evergreenathelake.com or thornycreekmarket.com. I think that's, Alyssa, I think that's right. I saw that Tracy was offering some shipping. Tim down at the lake is offering some shipping or some curbside pickup. Here's what I would say to you guys about those places. Again, I did stock my Amazon storefront so that you guys have some easy options if you just want to entertain yourselves right now by adding some new decorative pieces. You definitely can go to Amazon. Here's two things that I know to be true. One, I am having a ton of supply chain issues and shipping delay issues because a lot of the stock that comes out of Amazon comes from overseas. And Amazon also is giving preferential shipping to essential items, which totally makes sense. Secondly, Amazon is not hurting right now. They posted record sales last month because everybody is home and shopping online. The people that are hurting right now are my friends who own small boutique home decor shops, because those people order home decor inventory a year in advance, which means they ordered all of their spring and summer home decor pieces in as far back as June of 2019. That's usually the ordering cycle there. So they bought all of that inventory. They laid all that cash out in June of 2019, having no idea that we would have a global pandemic and that as non-essential businesses, they would not be able to open their doors. So even with the paycheck protection plan in place, my home decor friends are really not in a good place. So I would encourage you, speaking to that, to just, reach out to them and ask them if they're putting anything online. Or I have seen some people doing like Facebook Live tours through their own houses or through their own shops, and like some curbside pickup. So as we all just kind of do our part to, nothing against Jeff Bezos, but I think Jeff Bezos is going to be fine right now of Amazon. Okay.
For Thorny Creek Market, that she doesn't have a e-commerce up right now, but I know on her Facebook page, she's been putting some things up on there. And I'm sure, some of y'all don't live around here, and I know you probably have some small shops in your town that would be willing to do that too. And I can help look that up if anybody needs it.
Kirkland and Liberty has curbside parking, somebody is saying here. What else? Oh, that wicker basket holder. I got it at Savers Thrift Store. I'm pretty sure, who knows how long ago. This guy right here, this wicker basket holder. It's from Park Hill Collections. Park Hill Collections is a line of home decor that you'll find in quite a few of the home decor shops that I shop in. So you might ask your favorite home decor vendor. I also think I've linked something very similar maybe in my Amazon storefront if you're looking for that little something along the lines of that little wicker rattan holder. Let's see here, girls. What else you got for me? Anything?
I got a question.
Yes.
So you mentioned some of the major pieces that you have, like the investment. So are you talking about like a sofa and then like a rug? And then is that what you're talking about as far as like your main investments?
Yes.
And then, okay. So
Yes.
I really like your style in regards that you do like high end, low end, and you mix them together.
Thank you.
And you're very welcome. So my problem is that, I grew up poor, but now I'm in a financial state where all I think about is the higher the prices, then the better the quality it is. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yes.
So I need to, how do I get to where I am mixing in high end and low pieces, but it looks complete?
Well, first of all, I think acknowledging that is huge. Secondly, good for you right? A lot of us grew up not having a lot of money in our pocket. So good for you, because I know how hard it can be to kind of break out of that cycle. So that's awesome, Chris. Secondly, I think it is, take a step back when you're looking at your project. And here's what I ask myself. How important is it to me that it lasts? Right? Okay. How important is it to me that it lasts? So if I'm buying a sofa, I don't want to replace that in 24 months because it's a pain in my backside, right? And I'm going to still be bummed that I didn't spend $4,000, but I still spent $1,000 and I got to replace it in 18 months, right? So how long do I need it to last? How disappointed am I going to be if it breaks? So I just did this, for example, myself down at the lake house. I'm getting ready to do a little bit of a bathroom renovation down there, for example, and I was debating between a Moen faucet that I was in love with. I mean, it was super sexy, and it was like $800 for a bathroom faucet in a powder bath, right? And so I found one that looked incredibly similar to it for $160 on Wayfair. So I looked at that, right? And I said, okay, now I know enough to know that in that fixture, that it's not a Moen fixture and the insides aren't as good. So something is much more likely to break, and the faucet is much more likely to drift, right? But again, this is a powder bath that I'm not using a ton, and changing out a bathroom faucet is not hard. So that made it an easy answer for me. Does that make sense, right? How long do I want it to last, and how disappointed or inconvenienced am I going to be if I have to replace it? Now, when we're talking about home decor pieces, I'm pretty hard pressed to spend a whole ton of money. It has to be something that is very classic, that I know I will keep in order for me to spend what I consider a significant amount of money. So if we're talking about over $100 on like a home decor, it has to be something that isn't seasonal. It needs to be something that I could put out and leave out every day of the year and be happy looking at it. I'm not going to get tired of it right away. And I know that I can keep it, and it's going to be a transitional piece. So again, like that glass cloche was a little bit of a splurge for me. I know I bought it at Mel Hill's store, and it may have been closer to $75 or $100. I also have a giant oversized black lantern. I've had both of those pieces for like 10 years. Okay. But then my other smaller pieces that I don't spend very much money on, when I'm tired, I have no clue about packing those guys up and trotting them off to the thrift store and coming home with something different, because it just wasn't a huge investment for me. So I hope that helps.
Okay. Yeah, I guess my problem is that I spend a lot of money on high-end pieces, and I get tired of them, and then my husband gets mad at me, and I usually just give them away. So
yes. Well, and the other thing is, I mean, even if you don't give them away, the other thing that I see clients do that is painful is they'll say to me, well, I can't get rid of that because I spent so much money on it. They don't even like it anymore.
Yeah.
Right? Does that make sense? So again, just kind of put it through that litmus test. How long do I need it to last as far as durability goes? How inconvenienced am I going to be if I need or want to replace it? And how versatile is it? So what I would say to you also, Chris, one of the ways that you kind of ward off that overspending is to start kind of like we are right now, because we're working together on a plan for a room in your house. We're going to so I would caution you, I would say don't buy anything else yet until we get your whole plan set. Once you have your whole plan set and you have a plan, you can kind of stick to the plan, and you can always go back in and layer in things. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
But then I think you'll feel a little more secure, because I suspect that what has happened is you kind of jumped in with 2 feet and started buying some things, and then it doesn't quite feel cohesive. And then you have some buyer's remorse.
Not yet.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, ladies, is there anything else I can answer for you all today?
I sent a picture today of something I wanted to ask you about. Did you get it?
I'm going to see if I can find your face, Miss Jackie. Because I am loving your accent right now.
That's sad.
No, it's not. It's absolutely adorable. Is that you? Are you watching me on your phone?
Yeah.
Jackie, are you wearing an orange top with it? Is that a cross around your neck?
Yes.
You are not 76 years old. I don't know who you're
I
fooling
will
over there.
next month.
Look at you, girl. I love that. That's some inspiration. I saw your picture, and it was a lantern, right? It was a wooden
No,
lantern.
it's not a lantern. It's just a box. I got it at one of our really nice gift shops years ago. It's not even open anymore. And I paid a good bit for it then, and I can't remember what they had in it. It's like sort of aged gray around it, a box.
Yes.
The back is solid, and it's glass all the way around.
I thought it looked like it had a door on the front that opened.
It does have a door.
Okay.
You open it up,
What I would do with
it's like
that, I would decorate that as if it was a lantern, because it looked like a lantern to me. It felt like a lantern. And so one of the things that I love to do.
but it's real big.
It's real big.
Mm-hmm.
Even better. Perfect. That makes me even happier. I got a couple of ideas for you when I looked at that lantern today. I'm looking around to just see if I've got anything in my arm's length. Well, you can always start with a candle, which real original, right, Kara? I mean, who doesn't put a candle in there? But you can always start with a candle and then I would open up the door of that lantern, provided you've got a space that's big enough. And so I don't know if that's a side table or a mantle or even a centerpiece on your table.
The only place I've really used it that it sort of works is in my entertainment center. I've got one that is a corner, big entertainment center. And so where it goes into the corner on the middle shelf, it goes to well, let's see, a corner, you know.
Yeah, it's a corner piece, sure.
Right there. Nothing fits right in there. It used to be the TV had to fit in there. That's when we had smaller TVs.
Sure.
So it was made to where it didn't matter that it went to a corner.
Yep.
And because of it being wood on the back, you can't put it somewhere where you're walking around it and it's
visible.
It's
Let
wood.
me see if I can grab one. Give me one quick second. Oh, y'all are getting all the peeks behind the curtain today. So this is, at my house, Miss Jackie, a really big, oversized wooden lantern, okay? Now, the back is not, it's glass on all sides. The back is not wooden like yours is, but it's gonna be the same principle. And I just have had this sitting over, and I've needed to take it to storage and put it away for a good long while. So pretend that this doesn't have Christmas decor in it, okay? This could be any sort of things, but I love to open up that front door, right? And then I love to fill it with greenery. So if I was doing this for the spring, I would grab a whole bunch. I could leave this tall. I love these candles. Do you know that candle brand called Luminaria? There's a candle brand called Luminaria. I'm sure you can find it online. And they have this little flame will flicker. It's an artificial one.
Yes, I've got one.
Yeah, I love those,
but
right?
I didn't know that, but I've got one.
So I love to fill these up with just some great foliage. This was all Christmas greens. But the other thing that I sometimes do, this isn't exactly the right thing, but you can kind of style this up. Let's see if this fits, right? So I might just put like it's not exactly the right scale, my friend, but sometimes I'll put another candlestick like in here, and then at the bottom, you can just kind of style some other things. So what have I got sitting around here? This is a little big, and the scale isn't exactly right, but I would just take, again, here's a little piece of my metal, and I might take a little bit of my greenery, and you can either leave that door open and kind of have some things falling out of it, or you could just put it back in there and kind of close it shut. So it's exactly like the idea of that glass cloche. We're just going to fill up the inside. When I first saw and I didn't have an idea of the scale of your lantern earlier today. From the email picture, it's hard to tell how big it was.
Well, no, it is. It's like a big box.
Yeah, that sounds amazing. Yeah. So what my initial thought was today was that for spring or leading into summer, that piece would look really pretty with the door opened up, with a big, tall battery-operated candle like that, and then some silk hydrangea kind of spilling out.
Some what now?
Some artificial hydrangea, like
Oh
some,
yes,
like
yeah.
big,
I love
a
hydrangea.
couple of big hydrangea blooms in whites or even pinks and blues. I don't know what the colors of your house are, but white's always neutral. I also love those real pretty green hydrangea that have the little bit of pink in them, because I think it will
Right.
well on your wooden.
So would they be at the bottom, like
Yeah,
coming up, you know, like, and then maybe the candles behind them?
that's what I would do. Yeah, that's
like
exactly what I would do, at least. And again, I didn't have an idea of the scale of your lantern, but when I first looked at your email earlier today, I thought to myself, I would pop that door open and just put a pretty candle in there, and then just kind of fill it all up with the hydrangea, just kind of falling out of it for the spring months, and that'll even take you all the way into June.
Seems like everything I've tried, that's the reason right now, it's just stuck back, because then I'm thinking, well, I just need to get rid of it because I'm not using it. But I just keep drawn to it that I'm just not using it like I could use it.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, if you still like it, then it should definitely stay in your house. Sometimes you just need somebody else's fresh set of eyeballs on it.
Right.
Stick with me. I did a lantern decorating workshop, a live in-person lantern decorating workshop last year, but we certainly could do a virtual one online too. And so I'll come up with kind of some ideas, and we might it might be a bring your own lantern party, and I'll just give you some free.
That'd be awesome. That would be awesome. Thank you so much for doing this.
My pleasure. Thank you for the question, and thank you for sending me that email today. I'm gonna see here. It looks like I might have some more questions. Oh, Melody wants to know if I finished my daughter's bedroom yet. If you've been following us on I had put this little post out that my poor sweet girl was really upset. It was actually good. I think it was Good Friday, and she just was upset about, well, this is just a tough time, right? And so she was really upset. And so kind of at the spur of the moment, I just didn't know how to make her feel better. So I said, you want to redecorate your room? Like, I didn't know what I was getting myself into. I was grasping straws. And so the quick answer is no, we haven't got it finished yet, but all of the furniture is out. She is sleeping on a twin mattress in the lower level right now. And I picked up paint today. So be watching for that. I think I'm going to share some picking out paint tips with you guys, because it was interesting to kind of watch her pick out paint. We kind of went through that thing. And so it reminded me, I just sometimes forget that the things that I have learned over the years, not everybody knows. Does that make sense? Right? Like the things that just kind of come natural to you. So anyways, be watching for that. And if you've got any specific questions about how to pick out paint, let me know, and I might do a whole little video about selecting paint. So we have the paint selected, Miss Melody, and we did a little bit of early birthday shopping on Pottery Barn Teen. I introduced her to Pottery Barn Teen, and that put a little bit of
I was glad that you shared, you know, her feelings and all, because I taught school for 28 years, and I really feel for the children because it's just such a hard time. And I have 5 great grands, and so I've, you know, always helped them a lot. Well, they can't come around right now, and you know, I miss all of that so much. So, and I know children just don't understand. They don't understand.
Well, they don't. And so as lonely and isolated as I feel, I think it's even harder for our kids because they're used to going to school every day. I mean, right. I've worked from home for a number of years now. So, you know, it's just different. So yeah, thank you for that. She missed her friends, and she missed all of it. She cried that she couldn't go to church on Easter Sunday morning. That was really upsetting to her. And she misses her church family and her church friends and all of it. She just misses life as normal. So we're going to redecorate her bedroom. That's what
I think that's great.
Yeah, it'll be fun. She turns 12 on April 30th of this month. And so we're just having a good old time, and it gives us a little something to focus on.
Right. Share your ideas that you work with.
I will share my ideas. And, you know, she's been an interesting little client because some of my ideas she thought was great, and some of them she thought was terrible. She has her own opinions.
You have to remember you were that age one time.
Yeah, she has her own opinions about things, just like any other client that I'm working with. The difference in this scenario is that normally I'm working with another client's budget and I have to be very mindful of that. In this scenario, I'm like, well, I love that you accept it, you can't afford it. So
That's right.
So anyways, okay, ladies, I want to be respectful of your time. I know we've spent a little over an hour together. I'm sorry that we got started a couple minutes late because this girl struggles with tech sometimes. Are there any other questions I can answer for you all before we wrap up today? I'm in no hurry. I just also want you to know if you need to drop off, please don't feel bad about getting back to your work day.
Cindy, you should ask yours.
Did Cindy have a question? Alyssa, is that what you said?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
I was just curious, what colors do you see coming down the pipeline? We've been doing gray and gray, and what do you see?
Okay, so here's my insider knowledge. Gray is moving out. Gray and farmhouse are both moving out. Now, take that with a grain of salt, because your home is your home. And if you love it and it makes you happy, that's really the only thing that matters. But if you're asking me about what's going to be trending, this is how I'm going to answer. We're going to see farmhouse kind of migrate away. One, it's had its day in the sun and everything has a cycle. Secondly, Joanna Gaines, once she stopped filming Fixer Upper, right? The world just naturally will start kind of looking for the next thing. So she still has a really active presence and a very active brand, but she's not driving the farmhouse trend like she was a few years ago. So we're also seeing that gray is going away. I have always loved and gravitated towards warmer colors, like even like the top I've got on, right? I've always loved warmer colors. So for me personally, I'm really happy to see beiges come back. I also love what we call greige, which is a really warm gray. It's gray that has a lot of brown undertone in it, so it reads really warm. It's not that kind of cool slate or cold industrial feeling gray. So those are some of the colors that I definitely see. I was in a countertop showroom today, and we had a lot of discussion about how crushed brass is really going strong. Again, I love gold, so I'm really, really happy to hear that. Crushed brass is really here, and I think it's going to stick around. I think warmer colors are coming back. I think gold and brass is going to really have a heyday. When I was at the Dallas market this past January, for those of you that don't know, when you hear designers talk about going to market, there are three big ones, and that's Dallas, Atlanta, and Las Vegas. And it's when all of the furniture retailers and home decor store retailers, it's literally like, it's, hey, Miss Jackie, could you turn your microphone off? Somebody's got a microphone on that I'm picking up. So anyways, market is where designers or home store, furniture store owners go and you purchase your orders to carry your inventory. So it's like, I mean, talk about nirvana. It's just a little slice of heaven on earth. You just literally go around and it's like every home decor store you could ever imagine. It's really a little bit overwhelming. But because you're in there in January and making orders that you might not receive or put on your showroom floor for 9 to 12 months, this is why designers or decorators who go to market tend to be a year ahead. Does that make sense? Like you're seeing 6 to 12 months in advance what's going to be on the showroom floors. So I saw warmer colors, a lot of organic texture, so much rattan, like lots and lots of rattan, a lot of wicker, caned furniture.
Yeah,
it's kind of making a return again. in a newer, modern way. It doesn't look like your grandma's caned furniture. I actually have a piece that I'm looking at right now in my house I've been meaning to redo forever, and she's it's a piece right out of the 60s or 70s that still has the gold velvet upholstery.
Mm-hmm.
I know I'm not the only one whose grandma had that sitting in, like, it has the barrel chair that has the caned sides, you know what I'm talking about? And the gold velvet. And for 2 or 3 years now, I'm like, I'm going to get that reupholstered and redone. So maybe I'll get around to that one of these days. But I did see a ton of caned furniture. And as far as colors go, as far as actual color goes, I feel like I just saw a lot of neutrals. Cindy, there wasn't one overwhelming color. I actually saw, and this might go along the lines of the brushed brass coming back, I saw a lot of mustard yellow kind of making a return. Again, if that's not your thing, don't let it be your thing. But there wasn't any one major color that stuck out to me. It was, again, just a ton of neutrals, a lot of organic texture in furniture, and brushed brass and warm pink colors. That was a fun question.
That's helpful.
Yeah, that was a fun question. And Melody asks, how do you add orange? What can you incorporate with orange? I want to know how to incorporate orange without it being too orange. Is that the question? Like so much orange. How old is she?
So we are building, and we are just getting our stuff together. I asked her about paint colors, and she is 12. She is asking for orange.
Yeah.
I am not an orange person.
Listen, those 12-year-olds, they just have a mind of their own. You know, I don't know if you all know this about me. I coached gymnasts and cheerleaders for 20 years. I coached from like 18 years old, had my first coaching job at 18 years old until I was almost 40. And I could tell you the day a girl turned 12, they just turn into different human beings. They have little opinions. They have a lot of big feelings. So I feel for you, Mama, with your 12-year-old girl who wants some orange. So it depends on kind of how you want to go with that. I feel like orange is a really fun color to pair with. I love kind of going with a little bit of a coastal look. So if I was doing an orange room for a 12-year-old, I would probably give her some sort of palette that had a creamy white to neutralize it. And then I would probably add in some aqua, some teal, a little bit of acid green. And how does she feel about pink? Yeah. Yeah, you could.
She would prefer purple. I'm telling you, she's got purple and orange on her agenda.
I'm just not going to be able to do that.
I don't know. Yeah, this is our second home that we've built. The first one.
That's the answer. We're just not going to be able to do that. I am going to send you a picture of me my freshman year of high school. I was in a junior high, and our school colors were purple and orange, and I had to wear a purple and orange cheerleading uniform, and it was a tragic train wreck. And I just feel like she will look at that and be like, that girl's right. You can't put purple and orange together. It's just
or, you know, she might say, oh, that's really cool.
I would say we either need the purple to be the thing or the orange to be the thing, and then your friend Cara would be happy to give you some suggestions. So take her back to the color wheel, if you can. Take her back to the color wheel and just kind of remind her, have her Google, this could be homeschool art time. Have her Google the color wheel and look at complementary colors.
Okay.
And then you don't even have to be the bad guy. You can just be like, you know what? I talked to this decorator and she said that we have to work with complementary colors. You can throw me under the bus. And she said that purple and orange are not complementary colors on the color wheel. Done. Easy peasy. But if you're going with orange, definitely aqua. If you're going with purple, then we're going to stick in those jewel tones. So if she really likes purple, then she could have a real deep teal. She could have some real deep yellows, right? It could be a real rich, like almost Indian looking, like jewel tone colors could be really pretty with some like gold arabesque pattern, that kind of thing. But not orange together. That's just
I know.
it's not gonna work.
What do you do? Yeah, thank you.
Or listen, this is coming from a woman who has 2 teenage sons who are wearing mullets right now. Mullets, okay? So the other option is to go, you're 12, let's have a purple and orange bedroom, because this doesn't really matter and you're gonna want something different in a year from now. So that's always an option too. Okay, girlfriends, you have any other burning decorating questions that I can answer for you?
I do.
Okay,
so 2 questions.
Let me scroll across. Who's asking?
Chris.
Oh, Chris. Okay, good. What you got, Chris?
Okay, so how do you mentioned going to the market, which is Atlanta, Las Vegas, and Dallas. So how can anybody go, or do you have to?
You have to have a registered business, and you have to apply. You have to apply with your. You have to be approved to go to market. Now, that approval process is not overwhelmingly hard, but you do have to have a tax ID number.
Gotcha.
And you have to have a tax ID number that either says you're an independent designer or decorator, or you have a reseller's license, a resale license, in order to procure like home decor items to resell. So you're either buying home decor as a designer to sell to your individual client, or you're buying it for your brick and mortar storefront or for your online storefront too. But you do have to have a tax ID, and they do. I mean, that is highly regulated. Like, you have a pass, you come in, they scan a barcode, that kind of thing. So the general public cannot. That's why it's called to the trade. You have to be a member of the construction or decorating design trade.
Okay. And then my second question is, when you have wallpaper, do you have to have like a certain, like when you're putting like artwork on there, does it have to necessarily go with the wallpaper? If that makes sense?
You would want it to be cohesive. If you're worried about doing art over wallpaper, then my recommendation is that you pick one feature wall for the wallpaper that you do like neutral wall hangings on. So for example, maybe that looks like a feature wall of wallpaper, and it's either a mirror in a really fabulous neutral frame, or it's a wall of a bunch of different textured baskets, and then your other walls are just painted more neutral, and then that's where you could put a lot of text. So you got to be careful a little bit about, you know, if you've got a really pattern, I'm talking now about patterns wallpaper. If you've got a really patterns wallpaper, right? Because you did send me some examples today that were, I think I sent you an email back and said my brain is exploding. These are so beautiful. Like, they were really good. It had a ton of pattern. So if I put one of those into your space that we're doing for you, then I'll be recommending some just neutral wall pieces to go over the top.
Okay.
Probably not.
And then we can also, that's great. And then you can also include a mirror too.
Yeah.
That would be fine. Okay, that's perfect.
I will, because every room has to have a mirror.
Well, now that you said it, I mean, I totally agree with you now. So if you
I can't go against my own word. I'll discredit everything I just said.
Exactly.
You guys are
awesome.
Thank you. Anything else before we sign off today? Anybody? No? Okay, good. When I start to get crickets, I know that I've overstayed my welcome. So I'm so grateful for your time. I might send out just a little bit of a survey today that will help me kind of decide what to do with the rest of my shelter in place quarantine time. I'm not doing a ton of work in my clients' homes right now because I can't, right? So that's just kind of where we are. So I'm looking for some creative ways to fill my time. I'm looking for some creative ways to just connect with people. I do have an e-design service. I mentioned that a couple of times. I am doing some e-design work with Chris, if that's something that you're interested in. I'd be more than happy to chat with you about that. But again, look for a little bit of a survey from me probably in the next couple of days, no later than Monday. And I might just ask you some questions about how today went. And I would really, really covet your feedback. That just kind of helps me decide what to do next with myself. And more than anything, I want you to just hear me say thank you. It is really, I'm just about 18 months into this little creative journey operating as Cara Massie Design, and your following just means the world to me. It really does. It's just so flattering, and I'm so humbled, and it's an amazing place to be in. So I'm grateful. I'm grateful for your presence, and I'm grateful for your feedback, and I'm grateful for your friendship. So thank you for being my friend today, and thank you for letting me see some people face to face who don't have mullets. It was just a huge, huge joy for me. So thank you, girlfriends. Have a lovely day, and I will see y'all later. Adios. Bye-bye.
Thanks, Cara.
Thank you, Susie. Good to see you.
Good to see you, honey.
Bye, Melody. Thank you. Cindy, thanks for being with me today.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
See y'all later.
Bye-bye.